Hey, Dr. G here. I just want to give you a quick heads up on nutrition related to COVID-19. So there were some studies that were done in China. So in China, in various parts of the country, there's very low selenium in the soils, and then there's other areas where the selenium is high. So someone looked at, how many cases, how many deaths from the virus in areas from high selenium to low selenium. So that's interesting. So selenium, very important mineral. Another important mineral that has shown possible benefit when someone has a good status nutritionally of that mineral versus they're deficient in that mineral. Another mineral, zinc. So zinc and selenium, important. And this study, doesn't tell us for sure. It's just an association. It's not causation. But in places with low selenium, where they have low selenium in the soil, like in a city in a certain region, and then the people in that region also have low selenium in their body. And what did they find? Well, you guessed it. If your selenium status was good, then you had less risk of getting COVID and less risk of being hospitalized and less risk of dying. So an association where if you have the right amount of the mineral, you do better than if you're deficient. And so the same thing has been suggested with zinc. Well, what is a food that will give us those two minerals on a consistent basis, plus a lot of other nutrients? I would say this is the superfood that really cranks up your immune system. Now, this time of year, April has an R in it. May does not. You're not supposed to eat oysters in May because the oysters that grow in brackish waters can get colonized by a bacteria that can make you sick. So they say eat oysters, or it's safer to eat oysters in months that have an R. And then the months that don't have an R, May, June, July, August, it's a little more risky. It's May 1st, and I am taking my big risk, oysters. So oysters, a great source of zinc, a great source of selenium, a great source of DHA, the omega-3 fatty acid that makes humans smart. It allows us to collect light from nature and turn it into electricity, and then it can even switch it back to light again. Pretty amazing. It's magic. And some people say don't eat it, but I say if you want to be healthy, if you want to do the magic that's in nature, which a lot of that it has to do with quantum electrodynamic theories, that most of the studies that look at those theories show that when you do the experiment testing the theory, it always comes out true to the theory. So it's something that is proven in science that this mechanism does work. It could be that someday we find a bigger envelope of scientific principles or spiritual principles that explain it better. But right now, quantum electrodynamic theory is telling us that these things happen on a level that we cannot sense. So that's what happens with minerals. They have atoms and they have electrons and orbitals, and those electrons can move when they absorb light, and then they drop back down to the orbital below, and when they do that, they release light, and our body uses all of that to keep us healthy. Okay. Raw oysters,